That's all, people. We live. Black Eyes TV in the house once again. See the logo, you know what time it is. I'm joined by some big brothers in the community doing their thing. You get me? We're going to be talking about Grenfell. Hopefully, we're going to be joined by one other, Nikko, who we definitely need in this conversation. Talking about Grenfell, talking about the riots, COVID, Black Lives Matter, and the whole ball of wax. You understand? This is an interactive show. So when you come in, people, just like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I will be putting the link up in the chat for people to participate when they're ready. Um, as I said, it's about COVID. Sorry, it's about Grenfell. It's been 3 years. All right, wait. Here's Nico.
Man, they don't want me to speak, man.
That's Sauce. They can't hold you down. You there?
Yeah, man.
All right.
My boy Meech, my brother
Say
Meech.
something, Nico. What's going on, brother?
Yo, this guy mad.
Yeah. Yes.
Say something, Nico. Say something, Nico.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's all. All right, I can hear you. I can hear you. Cool. All right, we're all in now. Yeah, I was just saying to the people, then we're here to talk about Grenfell first, but we're going to talk about other bits, the protest, Black Lives Matter, COVID-19. But first of all, we want to touch base and talk about this Grenfell Tower situation, bring a bit of remembrance to it. That's why I brought my guy Nikko on. But before we even get into that, I want everyone just to introduce themselves, tell the people who they are, a little bit about them, what they do. Let's start off with Konsu. Begin, tell the people who you are, and then we'll go on to Chris, then Leo, then Nikko. Last of all, go to brother.
Yes, greetings, family worldwide. This is Professor Konsu, community activist, educator, co-founder of Manhood Academy, author, and
Yo, my reception mad.
just a general lover of community.
I can hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro, to interrupt that. Go on, Chris.
Yo, greetings, family. My name's Chris Sibia. Some call me the People's Publisher. My journey started with my first book, A Product of My Environment, written in memory of my son. After I learned everything about writing and publishing, I decided to help other people publish and write their books. So I released It's on Top, The Reggie Stepper Story, The Lie That Made Me by Mark Tugwell, my business partner Bernie Brightly, In the Beginning. And one of the new ones coming soon is My Untold Secrets by Shakira Trotman. My thing is, I saw the importance in reading late in life, and it changed my life. So I wanted to write books that could engage with young people from early, so that they also saw the importance of reading, but sooner rather than later. I'm a mentor, public speaker, and yeah, again, like Konsu said, lover of community and want to see the best for our people moving forward. You get me?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Oh,
Leo.
Bomba.
Hold on. I want you to come in last, Nico. Leo, you there? Unmute your mic, brother. You muted, Leo. All right, Nico, go through then. Introduce yourself and your brother that's sitting next to you.
Okay. Peace, Islam, Hotep, Salam. Go by the name of Nikko Day. Got many aliases, Nikko the Dub. Done various things, musical background, music really, but all, a lot of community work as well. These days, I don't like to put a label on what I do. I just call myself like God's own amanuensis. Like, so whatever the divine needs doing, that wants to do for me, I'm open to whatever. So I move from thing to thing. This is my brother Dimitri. He's a shaman. He makes medicine, and he's been healing a lot of people in the past couple of years, but particularly recently, off of various ailments, COVID-related ailments. Yeah.
All right. Lee, you there? Leon, can't hear you, brother. When he's sorting himself out, yeah, he'll come back in. People, when you come in, hit that like button as you come in, please. Yeah. All right. Nikko, I mean, let's start with you first of all, and then again, this is an open mic, so anybody that has something to offer, please come in. But I mean, Nikko, it's been 3 years. You was, you're from that ends. Talk to the people there, how you feel so far. Set the tone for what your thoughts are 3 years on first, and then the rest of us will bounce in on that.
Well, to be straight up, 3 years on, I'm not very obviously I'm not happy with the way it's gone, but I can't say that I'm shocked. I can't say that I'm shocked because from day dot, I was saying that if certain things wasn't implemented, if certain things wasn't said or expressed, if people didn't educate themselves about certain things, it was going to go the way it was going to go. And that's just because of a number of things, the way the law is, what is being served as law, as an offer of arbitration, and that we're not going to go anywhere with that. And it is really because of people's standings and people's lack of knowledge of civics, and just generally not really knowing what's going on or the wearing or to do with law, and where we have been programmed, educated, indoctrinated, whatever you want to call it, to think that we have a clear understanding of law and our rights when we really don't. When I say we, I mean like 99%, people. So because of those things.
Sorry. No,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I wanted to add the fact that English is a deceptive language.
Very true.
And this language is coming to an end. This language is about to expire because people like yourself, myself, and us here in this group, we're starting to decode the code within this English language. And this is all they've got: deception, deceit within the English language. And when we break the codes, their party is done.
Well, you're absolutely right, brother. English is one of the newest, is the newest language, and it is actually, it is a codex. It is really acronyms. It's a bunch, most of the words are acronyms. And what's going on right now is there's two languages. There's two languages that sound very similar. One is English and the other one is legalese.
Yes.
Legalese sounds like English, but it's not English. So the majority, if not everybody, is speaking legalese and they're not speaking proper English. And then that's where we're fucking ourselves up, basically.
Right.
That's where we're fucking ourselves up,
Yeah.
I
mean,
it's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on, Chris. Finish what you're saying.
There's a difference between denotation and connotation. Yeah. Denotation is actually what that thing is, or what, the interpretation of that thing. All right. Where connotation sounds like, reminds me of, or could be. So that's where people put different meanings. People put different meanings to the names of things. You got what I'm saying? So, where, for instance, we all think that the correct term for automobile is a vehicle. This is just one example. We think that the correct term for automobile is a vehicle, but it's not. It's the language of it's the language of
vehicle joinder, isn't it? It's joinder. You're
If you're a
dealing
taxi
in
driver,
legislation.
if you're a taxi driver or a bus driver, if you're a
You drive a
commercial
vehicle.
driver, then you're actually a
Yeah.
driver. All right,
Yeah, yeah.
and you roll and you use a vehicle. That's when it's called a
Yes.
vehicle. All right.
Yeah.
But anything
But
else,
we
which
travel.
people just use it for,
We're traveling. Yeah, we're traveling.
that's right.
That's the right word.
That's the right word. That's the right word. So that's just a small example of everyday things that we do. So we are all gang related. We're all gang
Do
related.
you agree? Do you understand?
None of
Means do you agree to stand under?
Exactly. As opposed to comprehend. You know?
Yes.
So,
we was talking about this beforehand.
and
It's funny because
so,
before the show started, we was talking about the same points.
yeah,
No, sorry,
And-
Nico. I was just gonna say, like, before the show started, we were talking about these legalese and
Right.
obviously how they operate
right.
and stop us from building certain things. You understand? And
Yeah.
and as you said, understanding laws that are needed, especially when it comes to housing, you know, utilities, these kinds of things, basic elements of life in London.
Right.
And
So-
again, you know, I don't want us to get sidetracked straight away. But
Okay.
in regards to the Grenfell,
Yes.
again,
it's all relative,
your
but yeah.
mum was on the estate.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Come back round and tell us.
yeah. So I
Don't
mean,
you, brother?
so for instance, in relation to this, I mean, and really and truly, there's things that I wanted to discuss. Well, first of all, you know, from day one, there was press all over the place, and it was press that I didn't really want to speak to. So there's a lot of local community people that wanted to express how they was feeling, wanted to, you know what I'm saying, you know, do what little we can to find justice. So there was a lot of documentaries and interviews, but I just didn't feel comfortable talking with that whole media gang. So that's where I felt,
Yeah.
you know, there was an opportunity. We all went to New York for the Unity conference, and then that was a great time for me to speak on a platform that I felt comfortable with. Shout out to Sarnetta, and really to explain to America, this is what's going on over here, and it could happen here. Matter of fact, it has happened in different ways. Like, you know, you've had the New Orleans, you've had the Flint, Michigan situation, and it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's turning people's privileges, turning people's rights into privileges or crimes. Depopulation. You know, the constant antagonizement of a people. So this affects all of us, but where we are black, then it's going to affect us doubly because we fall into, again,
We are public enemy number one
yeah, but and also
worldwide.
by default, by our bad indoctrination of not of not of not being able to declare who we are as a people, like our standing,
Yeah,
our status,
yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
All right. So
The
we're
custodians of the planet. The custodians of the planet.
yeah. So by calling us exactly, we're custodians of the planet. We are actually the heirs to the richest estates on the land. We
Of
as
course.
Moors. You know what I'm saying?
As more.
As Moors.
That's right.
But as black, you know, we're poor, we're dead, we're, you know what I'm saying, we're slave. It means all of those things. You know, as well as person, resident, wherever you reside, you abide. Yeah. So where you're a resident, that's another word for servant or slave or
Yeah.
Is he frozen up?
I think his signal's cut, yeah.
Yeah. All right, he'll come back in shortly. Now, listen, just to
Yeah.
add on to what he was saying, again, it makes perfect sense. Hopefully, he can unfreeze himself, or he'll have to drop out and come back in and finish his point. But again, I think where we was going with this was what happened to the Grenfell Tower people, and when the fire situation was already one aspect, but after the
Yeah.
fact, this is what leads into what my brother's talking about. And you see, when you was talking about legal leads, one that always gets me when you look it up is the word registration, because
Of course.
registration means to give away ownership. You
Yeah,
understand?
exactly.
So again, you're registering your kids, you're registering your house, your car, everything you ever buy most of the time requires registration. So straight away,
Mm,
you are giving up that ownership to someone else. That's why when you get your car documents back, you're the legal keeper now. You're not the owner.
mm,
You understand? So it's
yeah.
these kind of games they play with your mind, let alone when they just do the fog shit and they burn you out like the Grenfell
Mm,
situation. And when he
mm,
comes on, when he talks more about what he's experienced from a personal nature, as well as we talk about this law thing, I need to talk about this £20 million that they gathered up from the public, as well as all those other donations, and they never got to any,
and swallowed it. Yeah, yeah,
right?
swallowed it.
We've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
heard about
swallowed.
that. People
Yeah,
are
yeah,
still
yeah, yeah,
homeless, still waiting,
yeah,
but you've got
yeah.
20 million somewhere donated. You understand? And it's
What a
funny because
violation. Mm.
you're gone.
Yeah, they don't stop violate us, you know. And to be honest with you, like they know they're prodding the bear, they're prodding the bear, they're prodding the bear. Sooner or later, the bear's gonna say, yo, it's gonna start
Mm,
mauling guys.
facts, facts. You get
Yeah,
me? You can only do so much to certain people for a certain amount of time.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
trust me, that was a disrespect. And it's funny because Konsu, I know we was going to probably talk about this a bit later, but while we're waiting for Nikko, Konsu found something where they're trying to turn it into a memorial now. Like they want to do some sort of, what is it, Konsu? Like basically turn it into like a giant obelisk
Yeah,
memorial spot. You
Oh
understand?
yeah,
wow,
yeah. I got
wow.
some information on that. It's a proposal. I don't think it's gone through, but it is a proposal. But it's quite a weird proposal. It's like yeah. So
Mm.
yeah.
What talk to me. What is it about, Konsu?
Well, I mean, I've got a little presentation on it, a little couple slides
Oh,
showing
you're
it.
gonna present it later.
Yeah, yeah. But what it is there was a proposal by an architectural firm to make the actual tower into a monument, like a sculpture, a massive
Yeah.
sculpture. So they were going to slate it up with black slate and have it there as a
Mm.
permanent reminder of Grenfell. Um,
Of how they killed that of how they killed us, our people.
wow, it's
And
it's
it
a
will up the
beautiful,
value as well, being
yeah.
next to that monument. That's the
Mm,
joke of it. Those
mm,
houses, those £1 million houses around there, will up their value because that's natural tourism of people
mm.
coming
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, yeah,
understand?
yeah, yeah,
Trust me, there's
yeah, yeah,
angles
yeah,
to them ways. Because
Yeah,
yeah,
again,
yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
will become a tourist spot. It will get foot traffic. It's already next to, as we already know, next to Westfields and all sorts of
Yeah.
foolishness. So they know what they're doing on that. Let
Look,
alone,
this.
as me and Consu talked
Yeah,
about, the energy levels, all them dead souls, and now you want to build this big giant obelisk. You understand?
yeah,
As homage to
yeah,
what your murders that you done. Come on, it's a joke,
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, 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 yeah. Now the
yeah.
violation is serious. You know, every day it's like a new violation comes to light. I mean, Did you see that a guy is trying to get the right to I can't breathe and Black Lives Matter? Have you seen that?
Okay. What? Try to
Wait,
copyright it out, yeah?
yeah,
Mm,
wait there. All right, so this guy, intellectual property office, yeah, search for a trademark by owner. Your search found two marks owned by Georgios Demetrio or something like that, yeah. I Can't Breathe, Mark Tex, I Can't Breathe, and Black Lives Matter. This guy is trying to get the intellectual property rights.
It's a joke business.
Yeah, I
Nikko.
mean, people always cash in on tragedy, you know. People always cash in on tragedy.
On
And,
our tragedy.
Facts.
Yeah, that's known. I mean, when domain names first went for sale, people were buying domain names like McDonald's.com, you know, and that was a big trade. But in terms of intellectual property, you know, tragedies are it's a cash spinner, unfortunately.
Yeah,
The amount of companies that had the name Grenfell was ridiculous.
That's it. Come back in, please.
You got these Black Lives Matter guys talking about the guys at the top of the heat. Black Lives Matter. They ain't even black. And then when people are donating, the money ain't even going nowhere near Black lives.
There's something called controlled opposition, right? It's a tactic, controlled opposition, where you create something in the middle of your supposed enemy. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what's going on. You know, that's
Sorry, Nikko. Before you got cut out, you had a point you was finishing. Do you remember?
Yeah, just with regards to the bottom line is this, right? We ask these people in office to take care of our liberties and our safety. You know what I'm saying? And we've got guys in office that are called up in office and they are imposters. They're frauds.
Yeah.
They're frauds in office. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand the language of these people as well. Like they speak with wit, with humor, with double meaning, double tongue. So, for instance, when they're saying flattening the curve, all right, when they're talking about flattening the curve, they're talking about flatline.
Yeah.
When they're talking about 3 years, straight after Grenfell, they was talking about lessons need to be learned. Lessons have to be learned. People need to go back to school. People need to go and study this thing.
Yep.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put shit out there in films, in Disney's full of, even Mary Poppins Returns was talking about all of this. You know what I'm saying? There's a thing that they do where they have to tell you what they're doing. They have to show you what they're doing. Maybe not direct, but in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, right now they're getting that brazen where they're not even concerned about how they're putting it blatantly in our face now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We fucked up 20 years ago with 9/11. Like the fact that that they got away with that. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like some guys took over the plane with box cutters. It's working. You know what I'm saying? So 20 years on, that was that showed that they could do this, what they're doing now.
All right. So, let me throw in a mix. So I want you to define who is they, because it's a very broad category.
Good question. Good question.
Who is they?
Because some people could say that it's clubs or lodges or state or but it's families. It's families.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's families, and it's if you want to get pedantic, it's Germanic Jesuits of Rome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Germanic family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloodlines. It's always about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It always has been.
And there's another thing that I want to clear up, right? With the whole Moorish thing, because some people are putting it in the soup with other religions and schools of thoughts, and Moorish science is really about deep decoding the secrets, the mysteries of the world, you know, in symbols. And, you know, that's what the science is. You know what I'm saying? Learning the ability to decode symbols and things, to break down the codex, you know, which is what needs to happen, you know, because it's, you know, everything is shrouded in secrecy, you know, including the truth about our existence and who we are generally as a people, who we are as melanated people, you know, and 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 the fact that they know more about who we are than we do. And I'm not even talking about melanated people, I'm talking about everyone. That's how they're winning. You know, they've dumbed down the population of the world to a point where they can be manipulated.
Well, I'll add to the mix. You said there were two languages, one overt and one covert. Well, I add to the mix that there is another language on the planet, and that is symbolism. I mean, when you communicate, for example, if you go into trance, into retreat, into meditation, into vision, or have a lucid dream, or like grandma visit you in your dream or something, it is not literal language. You know, you'll see symbols, you'll be communicated in symbols that you have to decipher. You know, so in terms of the parallel world that we live in, I mean, the communication, the spiritual communication of this planet is symbols, sigils. You know, you can go back to the hieroglyphs in Egypt. You can go back to all cultures, you know. So, yeah, it's really about deciphering the symbolism of the planet we live on and how it's communicated to us, or code breaking.
Bro, talk to me, Nikko. Yeah, because I don't want to. Before we go into this Black Lives Matter protest COVID thing, I want to give the Grenfell thing its fair shot. Look, now his thing's messing up. Is that me or is that him as well?
No, it's Nikko.
People, the link is in the chat as well. If you got something to say about Grenfell Tower or the current situation that we find ourselves in, come on, chat about it. You get me? Let's hear your opinion. Just keep it sensible. We might have to rotate you out, but you are welcome to come on and join us. You get me? While he's sorting himself out again, yeah. Let's talk about this COVID situation, Chris. Because you've been covering it, that you know, the 5G situation. What's your take on that? Obviously people are going on like we're coming off a lockdown, but for me, until the youth them can go back to school, nothing ain't off lockdown. That's the realness. They've still got everybody in the holding pattern.
Well, look. This is the reality based on the research that I've done thus far. On where do I start? On the 21st of March, a paper was released. It was published on the UK government website, stating that COVID-19 is no longer considered of high consequence infectious disease. Yeah. On the 23rd of March, we got put in a lockdown. Now, that doesn't make no sense. Yeah. But digging a little bit deeper, in 2005, George Bush said, if we don't do something to prevent a pandemic, we can expect a pandemic in the near future. Yeah. Now, are we supposed to accept that? Apparently, the most important man in the world at the time gave this big speech, and no one was listening. Is that what we're expected to believe? Yeah. In 2015, Obama said exactly the same thing. Yeah. Are we expected to believe that the most important people apparently in the world are speaking and no one ain't listening? Now, it doesn't make sense until you realize in 2017, a federal ban was lifted on making dangerous viruses more dangerous.
Right.
A federal ban was lifted on making dangerous viruses more dangerous. This guy, Fauci, Dr. Fauci, he's been there
Yeah.
from 2005. He was there
Right.
sitting down when Bush said that if we don't do something, we can expect a pandemic. He was there in 2015. Obama said the same thing. Like, he's part of this Bill Gates situation. Bill Gates, he made more money with Microsoft antivirus software than he did with Microsoft Office.
Yeah, but shall I tell you what? The thing that watch this though quickly. The thing that people don't realize about this, the Microsoft angle, as far as Bill Gates, his family line, his family business is eugenics. That's
Eugenics,
what.
his dad was on the board with Planned Parenthood. Exactly.
Right. So he's going back to the source of what he's coming from. That's where people don't consider.
Exactly.
They think it's a new thing he's doing.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. 100%. And look, there should be, and I said it in my show, yeah, like African people, we should stay far from anything named vaccine that Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, the World Health Organization are trying to give us, because the history, their track records dictates no time at all of these guys giving us a vaccine and it's done anything other than kill us, you know.
Right. Facts.
We got to stay far. This Jesus complex that some of the continent, our people on the continent have got, we got to eradicate the thought process. It does not work for us.
Yeah, that's a major problem. Religion is always an underlining factor, I think, when it comes to the twagging of our people's head. Definitely.
It does not work for us.
It even affects the way our people receive information, because they're taught to only get information from certain sources, or it has to be something special or divine or some shit. But it can't just be practical, real knowledge. There has to be some sprinkles of something on it before man will listen to it, or it has to just come from a white mouth.
Yeah. It's good. We as Black British of African descent have to understand that we are in a better place to know, because we born here, we are in the brain of the beast, so we can see. We can see.
Yes.
Like, it's our responsibility to teach all them that can't see the reality, because no one don't love us. We got to love us. No one don't love us, you know.
What one I see?
Wow.
This
big
brother
up panel,
that's just
big up panel, my fellow men on the board.
This is a brother that I encountered on another channel, and he's come to support enough Black Eyes TV shows. So again, this is an open show. I'm trying to run this regular. So, brother, right now we're talking about this COVID situation, and that's where we was kind of coming from and how our people receive information. But what's your opinion on the COVID situation in your mind?
I think it's just another problem or difficult situation for Black people amongst many other difficult situations. And I try to focus on a solution, on the solutions, and talk about solutions rather than the problem, because you can dig into deeper and deeper into the problems and find out that so-and-so said this and such a date, and then new evidence revealed was so-and-so was thieving money from so-and-so and so on, and you just keep going on and on and on. You keep digging and digging. The more you dig, the more information you find, and the more angry you get, or one gets, well, I get, I should speak for myself. Uh, so I just head the opposite direction. But what I find is that it's like going higher or lower. So if you go too high, the air gets very thin and it's hard to breathe. You need breathing apparatus. If you go too low, then you start feeling pressure. Like deep diving in the sea. But to illustrate, that means that you'll find when you start asking people to say, what do you think the actual solution is? What can we actually do? You find that the conversation starts to thin out because people have to think, and it hurts.
Right. Yeah,
That's my experience.
Fact. I think our problem solving skills have been superly impaired in the last 100 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm
definitely.
being nice to just deal with the last 100 years because the
Exactly.
truth is 2,000 years of mad subjugation. So, again, that's a long time to be suppressing somebody's thought patterns and ways that they problem solve. And again, I've said on other shows,
yes,
culture is the key to solving problems.
Yes.
So if they've taken away your culture, then straight away your problem solving mechanisms now is impaired. So
Yes.
you're at loss. You understand? So that's something I will say. And again, even when it comes to this COVID thing, it's bound to basic parameters of food, what you're intaking, your immune system. But again, in this westernized, colonized mind, that's a problem because man don't want to stop eating and doing certain things consistently that they know ain't working for them. But you're encouraging a situation that again should be a minor. It should be nothing based on what we're seeing of what it really is and the numbers of the deaths, even though they've tried to hype it. You understand? We know where it is. But again, it's been prefixed where we're in a position of extra health conditions, all sorts going on. So we're susceptible to these things. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, can I say something about? I think somebody was talking about the word religion.
Yeah, we was talking about the religion, impacting on how we intake information. So again,
right.
Religion, religion makes us think that good information should be sprinkled with divine sentiments or come from some exotic source outside of us. You know what I'm saying? If it's not divine, like if I'm talking too much sense, I should be worshipped or that kind of foolish mentality. When really certain things that, especially the African mindset, can be metaphysical but was always practical. This is where the seen and the unseen match up always. So if you're up in the clouds, but I can't bring down and show you a simile within our immediate environment,
correct.
Then what am I talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Bounce off of that, brother. Go true.
Yeah, because this is my view. So I'd be interested to hear what your views are on this outlook. You see, I believe that religion is downstream or is a product of culture. So a lot of people throw these words around: culture, religion, bits and pieces, habits, and tribe. They keep throwing these words around, but there doesn't seem to be a link. So this is the link that I see. If you imagine a group of people, they arrive in a certain area where it could be cold, it could be freezing, it could be really hot, it could be dry, it could be wet, whatever. The people arrive. And then they have to think about how to survive in this environment where they've arrived. And so certain people will discover herbs and plants that can help, or they might discover things that you can wear, or furs, or things that you don't need to wear in order to best survive in this environment. and things that certain animals that are dangerous, and things that are friendly, and so on. So all these things accumulate over time, and then these people, they share this knowledge about the environment that they're in, the herbs, the fruits, and so on. But as they get older, then they start to have children, and if they're successful in surviving, they have children, and then they have to pass down all that knowledge to the children. And so that knowledge has accumulated amongst them about the environment and about the best way to live and survive. But it's a lot. As time goes on, it's a lot of information that has to be passed down to the children so that they don't get bitten by something or eat something wrong. And so it becomes part of the culture. That group of people will create a culture, a way of life, a style. They'll dress in a certain way. They'll eat certain foods. They'll dance to certain music made on certain instruments that they could have gotten locally, and so on. And so that becomes their culture. It's like a flavor, a style that is developed amongst themselves in that space. And then the children kind of pick up that. But then by the time you get to the third or fourth generation, some of those bits of wisdom may have been lost. So people then start to design symbols to try and teach the children and remind them of the knowledge that has been passed down from their ancestors who have now died off, but they remembered that, you should eat this fruit, or you should avoid this animal, and so on. And then as time goes on, the ancestors pass into myth, and the culture then becomes codified. And as the culture becomes codified, you start to write down do's and don'ts and draw pictures and do's and don'ts. Then that becomes the religion. Other people coming from outside will say, oh, that's their religion. Look, they've got a book, or they've got tablets of their ancient knowledge of the area and how to live. So culture then moves into religion. So from habit, it moves to culture. Habit and wisdom moves to culture. Culture then moves to religion. Does anybody agree with that or disagree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree
with that. I'm hearing that totally. I think that's what gives people fake narratives and leaves them with no problem solving skills. So then you're left relying on a government that ain't ever showed you no love, hasn't passed one piece of legislation for you, but again, you're still participating in a dead process of voting. And
look, the reality.
Go to you, Chris.
The reality is simple, innit? Like, no one is gonna teach you how to overthrow them.
Right. Facts.
So I mean, look, Malcolm X said it perfect for me. Like, he said it perfect. Only a fool would send your children to your enemy for education.
Yes.
It's the truth.
Facts. All day long.
Right. So here now is a solution now based on, seems that we all seem to agree on that picture of how religion is a culture, is based on culture, and culture is based on habits and historical knowledge of the ancestors and your parents that went before you. Right. So if you agree with that, then let's move it up a level now. Tell me what you think of this. When a people have a culture, an ancestry, and a religion, and the population has grown to a certain level, and they have their town, and they've created their villages and so on. Every town or every village or every people, they always have a central place where they gather. Yes, to share. You know, like it could be a market. You know, it's a part of a town where people just come from all parts of the town, an area, and gather at the market, but they also gather at a temple, a church of some kind. So there's a relationship between the market where you're gathering, and everybody's getting to know each other and knowing what is being produced in the community. Yes, you get to know that so and so makes good shoes, and so, you know, lays good eggs, and so does good weaving and so on. So that's the market. But also this temple is where the morals of the people is stored. So where people come to start to say, well, so and so did this wrong, or this is best practice, and so on. And they talk about wrongs and rights of how to live amongst themselves. Right. So what I'm saying is that temple of morals is the foundation of a bank. Yes. That's the beginning of banking, because that's the place where justice and morals and values and shared culture and shared religious ideas are sorted. So sometimes somebody might say, "Oh, our great grandmothers or great grandfathers, they used to do this because that's all they knew." And then, but I think we should drop that now, but still put it in the Hall of Fame or the museum for the records, so we knew how what our ancestors did. But now we've got a new way of doing something, so we're going to progress. So all this discussion takes place.
Bro.
Yeah, go on. So,
this is the thing, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm hearing you totally. Yeah. But the thing is, one thing I will say is there's certain things that don't change over time. Like there's certain universal principles.
Yes.
That regardless of whether, because again, this goes into even talking about this protesting and how we're perceiving different things as young people to older people, wherever. You know, shit, now that I'm speaking, it's just the point just went from my head. What was I saying? Yeah,
don't worry, the air's thin up here.
Yeah, no, that's it. No, the moral system that you're talking about is definitely needed. But again, we keep having these conversations with younger people where they seem to believe that there's newer ways of doing things, where again there are things in the modern day society that we're living in now, and I don't even like to say modern day, just in the time frame that we're in now, that we adapt and do certain practices. But then there should be certain things that should be standard. Like again, like Chris's friend and someone he associates with, and Chris, I want you to talk about this for a quick second. Your guy who does the King's Treaty. This leads to this situation where, again, what you're talking about, IC3, is something this brother is trying to initiate. Talk on that, Chris, and tell him about this King's Treaty and the people then. Because, again, what you're saying makes sense about code of practice, and it's the basis of commerce. So I totally feel you on that level. But again, there has to be basic tenements that are universal, that never change, that stay in place. Again, we was kind of touching on this when we was talking about laws and common law, no loss, no harm. You know what I'm saying? Basic tenements that don't change regardless. of wherever
Correct.
you on the planet. But yeah, Chris, just talk about that King's Tree and the importance of that.
Oh, okay. So big up Israel Emmanuel, my brethren and business partner. He's the founder of the King's Peace Treaty, and he basically wrote it because he knew that the power of treaties for first and foremost, but he knew that we needed to create something that could be a code of conduct for us as a community. So I'm going to read it quickly for you guys. The King's
Yeah,
Peace
go to,
Treaty.
bro.
I will never put no European geographical landmark before my brother. When anyone comes as a stranger from a neighboring area, I will embrace him and treat him like a king. I will not go in any man's area and promote violence in protest to promote my area. When I see a black man on the street, I will hail and acknowledge him in respect of the suffering we and our ancestors have faced for centuries. I will look at no black man as less than a king. I will look at no black woman as less than a queen, because the black woman is the mother of all civilization and we must protect her. I will link up with every man from every end to build my people and to build a better earth for our future generations. So, for those who don't know, there a general passed over the weekend, and he was very well known in London, and he was trying to change his life around. But past situations may have caught up with him. Now we don't know the full situation, so we're not going to try to speculate on it. But I know that he was definitely trying to turn his life around, and he had the ability to also influence a large section of our community within a generation. So I don't know whether it was politically motivated or it was another situation. But what I do know is it drove us. I mean, it wasn't even that drove us, but the same day even, myself, Gangs Unite, Colin James, and Israel, we decided that we needed to talk on something, and we just talked in a car. We sat down and talked in a car, and we put out a video basically saying that the 13th of June should be the last day a black man kills another black man. And the irony of that was that on the 13th was the day that the general got into a situation. So I mean, as I say, it's a situation now where hopefully we can use the untimely and unfortunate events for good, or we're going to descend into chaos. And this is a time right now where descending into chaos is really not an option for us, because we are public enemy number one, and we need to see that now, but more so than ever before, because they're looking to wipe us out. The final solution starts with us, because through, if nothing else, reproduction, as the genetic recessive, they have to see us as their enemy. So we have to understand, as you said, our position on this earth and play our position accordingly.
Okay. Can I respond?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Here we go now. We're going to move up a gear. So, I'm familiar with Brother Israel and the King's Peace Treaty. We used to have lots of meetings and talks in Tottenham.
Yeah.
So, the King's Peace Treaty. So, I'm very familiar with it. Now, there's two words that are mentioned in that treaty. And if those words are understood, that treaty is going to kick off. It's going to get the full power of the treaty will be made manifest. Now, can you guess what those words are? It's a treaty now. A treaty.
Yeah.
So, what is the most important word that's in that treaty? This is my opinion. I want to see what your opinion. I'm going to give you my opinion, but I'd like to hear your opinion.
You're asking us.
Yeah, I'm asking your opinion, and then I'm going to give you my opinion. Would you like me to just give you my opinion?
I mean, I think the treaty is powerful. I would like your opinion. I'd just like your opinion, to be fair.
All right. The most important word in that treaty that holds the power of the treaty is the word black.
Yeah.
Black man, the black woman. You see, it's a treaty. So it's a treaty amongst black men and black women. So if you're not a black man or a black woman, if you don't identify as a black man or a black woman, then the treaty is not going to work for you.
Yeah.
You catch that? You see?
Yeah, it's the natural parameters. No, I feel you on that.
Yeah, see, it's a very serious point here, you see? So there's many people being identified as black people, but they don't identify themselves as black people. So therefore, there's a treaty amongst the enemies of black people because they know who the black people are. So they make an agreement that these black people need to be treated in such and such a way. And it works.
Yes,
it works because they all know what a black person is. They don't care what comes out your mouth. You don't have to open your mouth. They already know you're black. They're not going to tell you that to your face. They're just looking at you and they're just seeing black person.
Yeah.
But the black people, the people classified as black, when they look at themselves, they call themselves all different names. Oh, I'm a Pan-African. Oh, I'm not black. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. Oh, I self-identify this. Do you understand? So they have the treaty is nullified for them.
First.
Sorry?
Yeah, black must come first. Over everything, over religion, over area, over everything.
Right. That's the point I'm making. Yeah. So the reason they're successful in messing up black people is because they have a clear idea of what a black person is. They have.
Yeah.
But we don't have.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Would you agree with me on that or disagree?
And let me just add something quickly because I'm reading a book called A New Release right now. Very, very powerful book. And in the early pages of the book, it breaks down something very simple. Yeah. When we take the universe into consideration and we combine all of the spectrums of the universe, the colors all combine to make what? Makes black, yeah?
That's all.
Now, the fact that we now, in solid form, encompass the same blackness the universe was formed in means we are custodians of the planet, as we talked about already. Now,
Okay.
as I said, everybody knows that except for us.
Correct.
This is why it must be considered a crime for a black man to kill another black man. Moving
Facts.
forward, it must be considered a crime.
Okay.
Facts.
So, what if I say that I'm a Moorish? I'm a Moor. Will the King's Peace Treaty apply to me?
100%.
No, it won't. Because
Why wouldn't
I'm
it
not
apply?
identifying as a black person. I'm identifying as a Moor.
More,
So it's
more
not going
is
to work.
black.
No.
More is black.
No. Black and blackness. That word. See, the word is like a vessel. It's like a glass, or a pot, or a vase, and it holds power. So once you say that more means black, right? It may be true, but the word is not black. It's more. The treaty speaks about black. It doesn't speak about Moors. So you can't start adding, because next thing, this is what happens. I say, I'm black, I'm Moor, it's all the same thing. Then the Asian says, oh yeah, I'm Asian, but Asian, we're all black. And then everybody says, oh yeah, BAME, black, Asian, minority, ethnic. Oh yeah, we're all black. We're all black. Everybody jumps in the bandwagon, and then the power disperses. The vessel is smashed. See, it's like you're at words and spells and words. See, and curses. See, so black is like a different number from Moor, from Asian, from Indian.
Listen, I don't have a problem with that. Again, it's connected to phenotype. It's an easy identifier. And as you said, I know about the deeper connotations. For me, the word black is your connection to the greater universe. So I don't have a problem per se with that. Obviously, I know the point that certain brothers, and I wish my brother Nikko could have jumped back on, because he would have definitely had something to say. He was a Moor. I don't know whether you saw him, IC3, earlier when we started the show.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked him to have elaborated on that, because obviously he's come from a law perspective. We was talking about legal lees, and them kind of things. So I understand definitely the defining of the language defines who's in. Look at that, Nikko's back.
They're still here.
That's what I'm talking about. What's going on?
Yes.
Did you hear the conversation that we're having right now, Nick?
Yeah, no, I'm just coming on. What? Break it down. What are you talking about?
We was literally just talking about the King's Treaty, which my brother Chris,
the King's Peace Treaty.
Yeah, that my brother Chris and his business partner put together. It's an act where we talk about how to be amongst ourselves, as far as brothers to sisters, brothers to brothers. You understand the mind state that we should have.
Could you read it again, please?
In terms of, sorry, go on, brother.
Yeah, could you read it again? Because
I
know the Moorish science people, they're very good with words. So I'd like him to listen to the words.
All right. All right. I will never put no European geographical landmark before my brother. When anyone comes as a stranger from a neighboring area, I will embrace him and treat him like a king. I will not go in any man's area and promote violence in protest to promote my area. When I see a black man on the street, I will hail and acknowledge him in respect of the suffering we and our ancestors have faced for centuries. I will look at no black man as less than a king. I will look at no black woman as less than a queen, because the black woman is the mother of all civilization and we must protect her. I will link up with every man from every end to build my people and to build a better earth for our future generations.
And he just dropped out again. Killed it. Hopefully he can come back in, because I really want him to hear that shit as well. That's the
Very
worst thing.
important. Yes, because it's a treaty, you see. It's a treaty, and a treaty is a very powerful thing, as you were saying before. But if you're not included in the treaty, it's not going to work for you. It's almost like a spell. It's a charge.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know doing treaties with white boys as the biggest treaty breakers, that don't make sense. So I definitely feel you on the defining of the parameters of who's included and who's not. All right, he's back on.
Sorry, guys, man. Someone don't want me to talk.
It's cool, man. It's just
What part did it cut out at? Nikko?
He was just talking about an app or something, or something where we can come together and feel. That's all I heard.
Yeah, read it again. Read it again.
Yeah.
Because it's a treaty.
Yeah. All right. I will never put no European geographical landmark before my brother. When anyone comes as a stranger from a neighboring area, I will embrace him and treat him like a king. I will not go in any man's area and promote violence in protest to promote my area. When I see a black man on the street, I will hail and acknowledge him in respect of the suffering we and our ancestors have faced for centuries. I will look at no black man as less than a king. I will look at no black woman as less than a queen, because the black woman is the mother of all civilization and we must protect her. I will link up with every man from every ends to build my people and to build a better earth for our future generations.
Lovely. And so,
yeah.
And so, what are we doing? That is that like a pledge, or is that what's that? What?
Yeah, it's the treaty that Israel created a few years back, and we've also put out a message that's been getting quite a good energy behind it. We're at about 9,000 views right now. We put it out 3 days ago, basically saying that it must be considered a crime for a black man to kill another black man. Moving forward, we're public enemy number one worldwide, and we're out here trying to kill each other.
Yeah.
The same time we link up, the same time we put down our arguments and our issues. I know we got many, but at the same time we do that, the party done. The world is gonna stop violating us, because they know when we come together as one, like, the party done. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad that it has to get to this. You know what I'm saying? It's always, and it seems to be like a pattern, because I mean, if you look at over here, maybe in the 60s and 70s, when there was more racism, there was more solidarity amongst the community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the birth of the Bloods and Crips, before there was war with each other, it was a gang that was formed. Maybe their fathers was part of a gang. That ran out the racism that was around that same vernacular. You know what I mean?
So Nikko Day, is it Nikko Day?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So I'm saying, and see if you agree or not. I'm saying the most important words in that treaty, or the most important word, is black.
Important.
Yes.
What,
I'm saying. Sorry?
What you're saying, that word needs to be in there. It's imperative.
No. That word is in there because it mentions black man and black woman. And I am saying that the most important word in that treaty is the word black.
Why do you say that?
Right. Okay. Because it's a treaty and it identifies who exactly the treaty is referring to. It's referring to black woman. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Back up.
Created by Andrew Swan and Bobby Sir.
Yeah, whatever. Listen. You said that black needs to be in there because that's the identity.
No, it's already there. Hold it. Read the treaty once again, please. Listen to the word black.
No, read the treaty. I'm
Listen. This is the parameter, Nikko. This is the parameter we was talking about before you jumped off. We was talking about the importance of the word because it defines parameters for who's in and who's not in. You understand?
All right.
So that's why a man's saying it's a key part, because anyone else who identifies, even, and we used more as an example.
So are you saying IC3 that to consider yourself Moorish is to not consider yourself black?
Yes. And it won't apply.
So
that treaty won't work.
Explain.
Because
IC3. Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
go on.
Black and black people refers. That's why you see on the logo IC3, because that is the black that the treaty is referring to. Black people.
Color of law, yeah.
You see, because so it goes back to what I was saying before. For a treaty or agreement to be tight and to work and to function like an engine or even like a vessel to hold as a container, the container has to have a certain size and a certain properties. Yes?
It's got to have parameters. It's got to have parameters.
Of course, that's right. That's why it can't hold power. It can't hold it. If it's got holes in it, it's like a bucket with holes in it.
Yeah.
So the word, a word is like a vessel. It's like a magic word. It's like a spell. A treaty, I'm saying, is like a spell. It's a charge. And it can work in the reverse. It can be a curse. And the thing about a blessing or a curse or a spell, it doesn't matter whether you know about it or not. It will still have impact on you. To illustrate, if you were going for a job or to join a group somewhere, and it's your first day, and before you arrive, the day before, the boss of that company says, look, we've got a black person coming in tomorrow. Keep an eye on him. That's enough, because it unites everybody around, this person. So when you walk in the door, you might not be aware that was what was said about you. But everybody's already suspicious of you. And you think, wait a minute, I haven't done anything. I only just arrived. But the charge is already out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the power of a word or a label or a name.
Yeah. So break down the name more.
Right. So the best thing to do is to ask a Moor, can white people be Moors? Can mixed race people be Moors? Who exactly is a Moor and who exactly is not a Moor? You see, you got to define what a Moor is. Tight.
Yeah.
See, so to the word, like the reference for black people, it has a history in it. That blackness, because it's connected directly to Negro-ness. So blackness is an asset. It's an asset class. Yes. So it goes all the way from black people, as in that they can be used for this, that, and so on, or they can be abused for this, that, and so on. So the enemies see a unity in blackness in order to abuse people classified as black, and to curse people classified as black. But to reverse that curse, the people classified as black would have to realize that they're classified as black, and then reverse the curse. But you have to mirror it. You have to mirror it in order to reverse it or to cancel it out. But if you're in a group and some of you are saying that you're black, some of you people are saying that we're more. Some people say, "Oh, we're not. We're African." Some people say, "Oh, no. I'm Nigerian." It's just
Well, you
confusion.
see,
All these words.
no. Well, let me say this here. Look, when you're talking about African and you're talking about Nigerian, that's a different thing. Because again, you got to remember classifications of color are running across the diaspora. If we're talking about being in an all-black environment, that's when we go back to bloodlines, tribes, those family classifications there. You wouldn't,
yes.
other than to describe somebody, as if you're talking to someone, he looked like this, he was of a darker hue or whatever.
Yes.
We're only talking about these classification of black being meaningful in this society. The same way I know if Nikko can come back on, I just spoke to him, he's going to try and jump back on and finish what he was saying. I know in a layman's way, because I don't want to talk for him because I'm not more, but I know he's going to say the opposite kind of thing in the sense that in this society, us not recognizing that Moorish connection, which is he's going to talk about, maybe, I don't know, I don't speak for him too much, but he's going to talk about the connection to the law.
Okay.
So why it's important classification for black people to use here across the diaspora, because that's something that the white people recognize in their treaties. Now, for me personally, as I've already stated, the white man's the biggest breaker of treaties. So I don't necessarily rock with that opinion that that classification is going to help you. He could say, I know he's going to say something different.
Of course, I know.
That's my stand on it. Again, Chris, I don't know why you feel on that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many Moorish people or deal with on the classification situation.
But we're talking about the King's Peace Treaty. The King's Peace Peace Treaty mentions black people. It doesn't mention Moors.
Bro,
or
and
Africans.
Listen, but listen, I totally feel where you're coming from.
Look, let me just jump in there. Let me just jump in there quickly with regards to black and the difference between Moor. Okay, so the numerally shall break it like this, yeah. The 9 ether beings, yeah, black, yeah. 9 ether beings are Hu, Min, yeah. Hu means creative force of will. Min, the deity of birth, yeah.
Okay.
Min. So Mim's Hu is in HU, and then Mim is MIM, yeah. Deity of birth.
Yeah.
Creative
Min.
force of will.
MIN, I think.
No, MIM. That's how it's supposed to be spelled. Human.
Oh, right.
Yeah?
Okay.
Right. The creative force of will. The man of Hugh. Us. 9 ether beings. So yeah, we speak the English. We speak the English language. We have been taught to classify ourselves as black. Yeah. Now, I mean, when and I'm not trying to speak for Israel, but my understanding of what Israel meant when he referred to us as black was 9 ether beings. Human. Hugh, the creative force of will.
Right.
Min, the deity of birth.
Right. So
Yeah.
I thought when I read the treaty, Israel was, when he mentioned the word black, he was talking about I see three people. Did you see? So
No,
that definition is not clarified of what black
yeah.
and blackness is. So therefore, the treaty loses power until that blackness is clarified. And why it's important. The reason he chose black, there must be a reason why he chose black and not more. He could have said more.
Well,
He could have said
yeah,
Moorish people and a Moorish woman. Why did he not say that?
well, he
We
didn't
should
say
come
that.
on, actually.
Listen. You as a learned 9 ether being, you know something that 90% of our people don't. You understand? So Israel, in referring to us in the terminology black, was reaching out to all of us 9 ether beings that maybe don't know the importance of identifying as Moors.
Whoa. You see, but you can see how we're stretching the scripture now. You see, the treaty is like a scripture, and we're stretching the interpretation. So you've got your faction, and your faction, is going off saying, "Oh, this refers to 9 ether beings." We're now divided. I'm going off of my faction and saying, no. I've read the treaty. I've read the holy book.
No, we're not. I'll tell you why I see.
I don't think that we dividing at all. I mean, the treaty was written to unify 9 ether beings. More. Yeah, that's the intention. Now, as I personally believe, he assumed, rightly or wrongly, that not everybody would know the importance of identifying as Moors. So,
correct. Okay, possibly
referring to us as black is referring to all 9 ether beings.
Okay, hold on. Watch this. Why I'm saying that there's a division, I'm saying, look, if we use this and see this, the King's Peace Treaty is like a Quran. Yes? Yeah. And let's say Israel has died many generations before. And all we have is the King's Peace Treaty. So we'd have priests on your side saying, "Oh no, when Israel wrote the King's Peace Treaty, he was referring, when he mentioned black, he was referring to 9 ether beings." Then my department and my priest are going to say, "Oh no, that's the wrong interpretation of the King's Peace Treaty. When he mentioned the word black, according to the time and date, he must have been referring to the IC3 people." And then you have another group of people saying, "Oh no. When the King's Peace Treaty was written, he actually meant Moors. He actually meant Moors. He put the word black, but he meant Moors."
You see why that can't happen? You see why that can't happen? Because from the word black is in there, it's already a rap. Because I don't care whether you come in and you say, "I identify as a black Moor," or black or black Christian, or black this. Because again, there's always the pendulum swinging it. There's white Muslims, there's white Moors, there's white Christians, there's black Christians, there's black Moors, there's black Muslims.
White
so as long
Moors.
as the word black, as long as the word, not as in, there's two classifications, phenotype classifications, where you can say those are white Moors. They're calling themselves. It might be a double negative if we're saying the word Moors or Moor means black person, but again, you know what I mean. There's people that are not of our phenotype identifying themselves as Moors. So again, if someone comes in the door and says, "Yeah, I'm a black this," then already you've passed the qualification where you should understand what I'm talking about. Because if you come in the door,
right there,
If you come in the door and then start talking your Moorish talk or whatever on a higher note than the initial understanding that you're black, that's when you get booted out the door, innit? That's all. You get me? Are you hearing me, Chris, on that one?
Yeah. 100%. Look. The Israel referring to us, making reference to us as black, is making reference to us being 9 ether beings, which is making reference to us being Moors, custodians of the earth, of the universe.
That's it. You get me? As far as Raw in the chat room, yeah, we're talking about when we're saying kings, referring to each other as kings. Again, I don't want to talk for my brother, but I think we're talking first in mind state. There's a way of thinking, there's a way a king thinks, decision making, and that kind of way. So when my brother's talking in that way, that's what we're talking about. Your mind state and again treating each other as kings and queens with that respect and all of that. You get me? What's going on, Spice? Unmute your mic. Let me see if I can hear you.
Big up.
What's
Big
going
up.
on, love?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear
Can
me
you hear
clearly?
Chris?
Hey,
Yeah.
listen. I've got Israel. I've phoned Israel, and Israel's actually on the call right now. Yeah. So yeah. So Israel. I see three. One of the group members.
It's breaking up when the other guy.
One of the group members is saying that in you referring to black in the King's Peace Treaty, you have taken some power from the treaty because the interpretation is not clear. Yeah. So IC3 there. Can you hear?
I'm listening.
Yeah, Israel, explain what you, because what I said was you referring to us as black was also referring to us as 9 ether beings and also referring to us as Moors and basically referring to us as the custodians of the universe.
Which is true. I mean, like, I don't know what to say because I understand the argument of where a man's coming from still, but how can I explain it now? Black is something that we all can relate to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what I said.
We all know this, you get what I'm saying? So, but I get what a man's saying and I do understand what a man's saying, but that's where that's at the moment, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can you guys hear what Israel's saying?
Yeah, I'm hearing him, bro.
No, he sounds very low to. He's low for me.
Yeah. I can hear him clearly. You just have to bring your phone closer to the speaker, wherever your speaker is, Chris, on your computer.
Yeah.
Put it right up. It's probably next to the camera.
I think Israel's phone is quite low, to be fair.
Yeah, you need to get Israel on. Tell him he needs to come on.
Yeah,
we need him on.
His battery's about to die. That's the thing. But we can get him on definitely another time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So.
What is everybody saying? I'm not 100% what everybody's saying. What they're saying.
I'm back.
I'm back. Yeah. IC3.
Yeah, Israel has died.
Israel's on the line right now. So
we've got him. All right. Right. So let him interpret the Quran now. We got the. Okay.
No,
right.
I explain, you explain. IC3. You explain your point now, please, so that he can hear.
All right. Can you hear Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't hear, I'm gonna let Chris ask me what you said.
Yeah, go on.
Right,
talk,
okay. So we were discussing the King's Peace Treaty, And I was saying that the most important word in the King's Peace Treaty is the use of the word black. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the most important word, and that when you use the word black, you was referring to IC3 people. Now, some people are saying black meant more, or black meant African, or black meant 9 ether. So I'm just illustrating, like if you was the Prophet Muhammad and this was the Quran that you left, yeah, after you visit the ancestors, all we'd have was the King's Peace Treaty, and there would be about 3 or 4 churches built off of this King's Peace Treaty. My church and all of our people, we will be saying, oh, the great Israel, when he wrote the King's Peace Treaty, he was referring to black IC3 people. Another group of people are going to start their own church and say, no, when Israel wrote that King's Peace Treaty, he was referring to 9 ether beings. And then another group, I think it's cut off. Another group was going to say, oh, no, when Israel wrote that peace treaty, he was referring to Moors. You see how powerful.
What the scenario, what you're saying, that's
yes.
People in general. Because if I say to you one thing, by the time it gets back round to me, it's not going to be the same thing.
Yeah. That's right. But it's a treaty. It's a very important document.
Yeah, but
what did you mean?
Yeah.
What did you mean when you put the word black in there? Why didn't you put more? Or why didn't you put 9 ether beings?
Because not everybody's on that level of 9 ether beings.
This is what I said. Yeah.
Man might miss that point.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Man might miss the point of more because man don't know about more.
Right. But everybody can understand when we say black, what we mean by black. But what you're saying is right. So that could be like an interpretation that you can interpret it as a more, you can interpret it as a 9 ether being.
Yes.
Whatever you interpret it what it is, but the most important thing is that I never go into another man's area to promote violence. When I see my brother walking down the street, I'm going to acknowledge him. Those are the
key principles are the key principles.
This is what we need to be dealing with, really, because this is what we, as a people, these little intricacies are things that can easily divide us. There's so much things that can easily divide us. We don't need to be divided.
Right.
We need to be unified.
Yes, I understand.
And you're happy with it being a 9 ether, then don't run with no 9 ether being. If you see a 9 ether queen going down the road, hello queen, this 9 ether being, you deal with it on your agenda, but the principle of it is this: as a people globally, we need to link up and be together.
Yes. Israel, we understand your intention. Israel, we understand your intention of why you wrote that treaty. But point I'm making is that
he just done. When a man says but he just took away everything else.
Correct. You're right, because you understand the importance of words.
We can't deal with no buts, bro. We need to just build.
I understand.
And I'm not taking away what you're saying about the black, because I understand the argument. Because all right, then we can go deeper. I can't really say that I'm an African because the name African comes from Africanus, Symbolism, which is a Greek man, or which whatever man he is not a black man.
Okay.
So
Right.
So if we get into this argument, we can get into this kind of level forever, but we don't. For me personally,
it's counterproductive. It's counterproductive in the sense of yeah.
But let's move.
Yeah, as one.
Do what we need to do.
As one.
A black man should never kill a black man. You could say a 9 ether man should never kill a 9 ether man. That might go over the man's
A Moor should never kill a Moor.
Yeah, and the man's gonna say, but I'm not even a Moor, so I could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. So hear this. Then, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? You see, the term black, they also say is means politically black, and that's where you get all this BME and BAME. So black, Asian, minority, ethnic, and before it was BME or black, minority, ethnic. And you got whole Operation Black Vote. Have you heard of Operation Black Vote? Simon Woolley.
You know.
What? Yeah. Operation Black Vote is massive. Operation Black Vote. Just think of that. Operation Black Vote. But they use the term black in what they call political blackness. They call it political blackness. Political blackness includes Asians, Chinese, and white minority ethnic. So they can use
all right. I see through. Let me jump in there quickly because
go on.
Asian, a Chinese, an Indian, Pakistani, they do not class them, consider themselves as black.
They do under political blackness.
But they don't. Okay, so that they might use that term to benefit them where it can. Yeah.
Yes.
But they don't consider themselves as 9 ether beings.
Right. But they class themselves. You're perfectly correct. But they class themselves when there's trouble as black, politically black. And they say, oh, and the government accepts it. The government accepts it.
The reality is this. There's this one reality, yeah? Right now, us as a people, we need to link up.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to any form of division right now. I'm not on it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so serious that I ain't got no time for no division, bro. We know what we need to do.
That's right.
All these little talks, I get it. I understand it, and I'm not going around it. Yeah, but we can dig such a deep hole that we're not even making no positive movements, bro.
We got to make positive movements in the right direction, 100%.
The majority, the normal man walking down the road, he might look at himself as a black man. Not everybody's on this high level of 9 ether, more and all this kind of stuff. You work with a black man, bro. It should be if you touch a black man, you're missing. Simple.
That's it. That is my.
This is what we're on. And it's no one else with us no more. Me personally. This is what you're talking about. I rate what you're saying, and I'm not on that. I want to be just saying, how can we build our people to be the greatest nation on the planet?
That's simple as that. Nation building and nothing else matters.
If a man's going in that direction with a talk, then I'm on it.
Yeah.
If a man's saying, how can we build banks? How can we build university? How can we build schools? How can we build these kind of things? How can we build an army? How can we build a kingdom? I'm on that.
Yeah.
Them kind of arguments I'm on. Anything that I do get that. There's a time for that, but right now where my energy is, I can't take on that kind of argument right now.
Yeah.
And I do get you because
I understand.
There's Kush, there's Ethiopian, there's 9 ether, there's more. I understand that. So I'm not going away from that. But where I am right now, my head can't take that. Man's getting shot and killed all over the place.
Yes.
Listen, hold on. Chris, say this thing and then I got something to say afterwards. Go, Chris.
The layman considers themselves as black man. When you acquire more knowledge, you get more knowledge, you raise up your levels, then you might refer to yourself as more. But right now, everyone who is of 9 ether refers to themselves as black. Yeah? Like, yeah, and understands what that is.
But I'm not taking away from what you're talking about, but where you're going with it, bro, my mind's on I'm looking to be building.
Nation building and nothing else matters. Yeah.
Yes. I understand, but
another. That's what it is.
Yes. Yes.
Any kind of different kind of talk.
Can't
I
work.
understand, but yeah. I see. This word "but" keeps coming in. You see, you're talking about building. See, when you're building something, especially the kind of building you're talking about, it's a very, very serious and precise thing.
Who am I actually speaking to? Who am I speaking to?
IC3. I talked with you in Tottenham. We talked about this King's Speech years ago. At Bernie Grant. We used to meet and talk at Bernie Grant Centre.
Brother, don't come with none of them foolishness in my head today, brother. Big man, let's build our nation, yeah? Let's be the greatest thing on earth, yeah? I'm not, brother. Yo.
Hey, listen. This is what I want to ask your boy before his phone cuts out. Yeah, let me ask this. Because we're talking about we're talking about trees. Yeah, we're talking about trees and we're talking about codes of conduct and behavior. Yeah, let me ask this. Yeah, when it comes to this Black Lives movement, yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's a defined sentiment. Yeah, but we find ourselves when we're looking at the real Black Lives Matter, that's not coming from the angle of the black family. You understand?
Correct.
It's not coming from that angle. So what's going on in there? Like, is that all one in the same? Are we getting it? Because again, I already get what my brother's saying on the King's Treaty, as far as it's a quick way to classify us and to identify and to stop a situation from occurring.
Confusion.
Where I don't care whether you're the genius of the pack or whether you're dumb as two nails, you will be able to clearly identify who's black and who's not, and the code of conduct and treatment that you're supposed to be going on with. So when we're talking now to the Black Lives Matter, I want to, first of all, before I ask you, I want to get the brother on the phone. What's your opinion of the Black Lives Matter thing as far as the sentiment to the organization? And then you can answer, Chris, and then me and you will talk again, IC.
Yo, did you hear that?
Okay.
That was that question posed to me.
Yeah.
About the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Bruv, this is what I'm saying, bruv. Look, they call it Black Lives Matter. Whatever they call it, people are getting killed. People are violent enough. Whatever they call it. I don't care about Black Lives Matter. I don't care about. That's just the terminology that people are using. I understand it came from some lesbian women or whatever that is, yeah. And I'm not for that 100%. But what I am for is that you can't run with us. That's it.
That is it.
With us no more, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't got time for the me. I'm gonna come off of this talk in a minute. I haven't got time for this. I want us to be active. Like, you cannot play with us. This is all I'm on.
Yeah. Simple as that.
What I'm dealing with. You cannot play with us, bro. I can't get into the locked into the mind fucking. I'm sorry about the swearing and that kind of stuff. I can't get into that. It's just creating a
It's a distraction. It's a distraction. Like we've just spent 20 minutes. We've just spent 20 minutes like clarifying the word blackness, when we all, whether you be the smartest or the not smartest, we all understand or overstand what that means. So that doesn't need to be a conversation. That doesn't need to be part of our conversation. We're all at a level where that we're over that. And I understand with regards to a treaty, it's important that we clarify all of the wording right now, but we don't need to be there right now, because we all have the understanding of what Israel meant when he released the King's Peace Treaty. It's a unifying document for all of us, black people, 90 for being Moors, Nubians, whatever you want to call us. Yeah, it's a unifying document, a code of conduct for us all to live by. The Black
Facts.
Lives Matter movement. The Black Lives Matter movement. These lesbians are controlling it, being financed by a Satanist, and the donations are going to another business that's got nothing to do with us. So on every aspect of Black Lives Matter, like the king on the chessboard is being made irrelevant, and that is what Israel's point is, and I stand by Israel's point, and I think Rich does as well. But Rich taught the thing.
Bruv, it's listen again. It's simple. I'm with your boy on the phone. Like, I understand the deeper connotations. Again, what IC3 is talking about in other forms of codes of conduct and stuff, but on a basic parameter across the diaspora, it's a wrap. It's not that hard. And I'm with, again, the clear understanding that before we can do bigger things, we have to have a basic code of conduct. Because again, the one thing IC3 did say that was very clear, and I appreciate that point, is that the white man is clear on his classification of us and what that's it, and what he expects or what he wants us to be. Wherever the box is, they are all in agreement with that. So it's the same thing for us. If we don't have an agreement that the black family is one of the keystones, so any organization, I don't care what your snappy catchphrase is, Black Lives Matter, whatever, if I don't see black man, black woman, black child all included on the website, then it's a wrap. Yeah, you're not for black people. You're coming from a different angle that I can later on see could be problematic. These are the basic tenements right now where I think we're at that we need to deal with. You understand? As I said, the deeper connotations of including and thinking about religion and all these other aspects, they're natural divisive ways that will keep popping up regardless, that we're going to have to keep dealing with. But again, right now in the diaspora, code of conduct between us. So again, when it's riot time, when it's protest time, you understand why you're out there. And again, you can clearly make moves. Like, listen, IC3, we're going to wrap this up shortly, because we've been on now for almost 2 hours. But that was something else I wanted to talk about. What's the legislation move? Because again, I got friends who are talking about, forget Black Lives Matter. If there's no black legislation, then what are we walking around for in the streets? You understand? So again, next time we come on, that's something I definitely want to chop it up with the brothers. I know IC3 wants to say something. Go ahead, brother. Say something before we close it out. And I go to Chris and let him say his final sentence.
Okay. Yeah, you see this I'm the exact opposite to what you guys are saying, and let me try and explain why. You see, because we're saying black or what I'm hearing you all say is that black is basic. We all know what it means, basic. But what I understand basic to be foundational. When you're building a very high building, when you're building a very a complex structure, the foundation has to be tight. It has to be precise. If it's out by a millimeter, just a millimeter, by the time you reach about 500 meters high, the whole thing's tilting. So that word basic must be taken very seriously. Basic means foundation. Must lay the foundations, make them clear and precise in order to construct. I understand Israel wants to construct. I know the intention, but sorry about using that word, but you've got to have the foundation tight. When you say black, people got to be clear what that, the person who writes that treaty is saying black people are these people and not those people. It has to be clear like that, tight. So, because it's a war we're fighting. It's an ideological war. And,
Hold up. What's my man saying there, Chris?
Yeah. It's crystal clear.
That's it.
Crystal clear. And a black man should never kill a black man. That is, we're at a place where we're not even at the foundation. We're tearing down the old building. Yeah, a black man should never kill a black man. That everybody understands that. We're at that place in our life today, bro.
Yeah.
So we need to put this into place. All you're talking about is I can't say anything about it because I totally respect you. I totally respect you as our brother. But right now, the energies that you're talking about, we need to stop our brothers from killing each other.
Right.
The main thing, once we've done that, that's where we can unify. That's the simplest place where we can find unification. Brother, please don't kill me, and I will never kill you. Simple.
Yeah.
And if we can agree to that as a community, as a nation, that's step one.
That's something to build on right there.
That is step one, because everything I said.
Yeah.
The whole world wants us dead and we're killing each other. That is absolute lunacy, bro.
Yeah.
We don't know who each other are.
My brother, I'm not budging from that spot. I'm not budging. All the talking, anything else around that, to me is just noise.
No.
This is something that we can all agree with. I will never kill you, my brother. You never need to worry about me killing you. And I know that because we've agreed this, you will never kill me. So in 1,000 generations, no black man has ever killed another black man. And this is where nation building starts. Because this is where we can control our destiny. Because if the whole world knows that we would never kill, that means that we're top ranking more than every nation in the world. We're taking care of our own affairs.
But you're speaking Garveyite. You're speaking like Marcus Garvey. You're speaking like Marcus Garvey about race first.
Let me say something.
Race first. Sorry?
I'm like me right now. I understand what you're saying, but I'm making it so simple. Yeah? Because I don't want that. I'm speaking like, bro, we do not need to be killing each other. Simple. Because we just get into all this long argument and man's dying. We talk too much.
But he's not a brother. He's not a brother. He is not a brother. He's not a black brother. He's something else. And he doesn't want you to call him black.
Garvey?
Wait,
Who's Garvey?
Marcus Garvey?
No, Marcus Garvey is speaking. No, Marcus Garvey is speaking about race first and blackness. I'd agree with that. But you see, when you're saying brother,
right?
Yes, but other people do not see themselves as your brother because they don't see themselves as black.
Why are we watching anyone? Again, this is what I'm saying, bro. We're going in a circular, and me, Chris. That's it. Me, Chris, and my man, and you at first was on the same page because it was simple. You said the importance of the black being there. It is there. So my brother's already identified. Listen, let's go with this because it covers a multitude of different identities, but it's a basic enough and building block enough tenement that everyone can recognize, isn't it? So we're already there. We've already covered that base. The next parameter from that is who are we talking to? Black family. All right. Who makes up a black family? Man, woman, child. This is what I'm trying to say. So when you're talking in these terms, those to me are your basic tenements. Yeah, that you need to speak on here in the diaspora. Because again, when we were talking about Garvey, yeah, the little advantage Garvey had is that in that time, society in general, when it came to family and understanding that basic tenement of a village, a neighborhood, your community, that was stronger then. So we didn't. This conversation would even be even more sillier at that time because just in the sense of how long we're spending on it, not the fact of being race first, but just in the fact that we're spending so much time on something when we clearly identified and the brother did. That's why it's in there. You understand? I was interested to hear Nikko's position as a Moor,
Yes,
because I know
that's
he's
right.
got a counter position to that. But again,
Yes.
as I already identified, his argument is going to be, let's use the Moor classification in the diaspora because it's recognized more. But that's to someone else. That's you negotiating with someone else. This King's Treaty is about an internal agreement with ourselves, between ourselves, on how to treat each other. So again, when we get into the realms of what you're dealing with, whether it's banking, whether it's finance, whether it's commerce, like what you was originally talking about, straight away there's a basis now for how we deal with each other, in it. Whether we're doing business, whether we're just trading, or whether I'm just starting a business and I need financing, whatever, but that covers the basics. And again, he's even put it in the upper echelons by saying, listen, have the king mind state.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, thinking your best and highest self. Don't be petty. So to me, he's covered that base, and I think we have covered it neatly. But as I said, look, we've been going for 2 hours. I appreciate you jumping on us. You're always welcome to come back. Chris.
Okay.
Big up to you every time for coming on. Let me just put myself back on this camera.
Respect,
big up
brother.
to you, Chris, for coming through.
It's
family.
Israel.
What they?
Come on.
We're
big
getting
it. Thank you for joining the conversation. Black Eye said we got to have you on.
I want to have you and Chris on to talk about certain bits and bobs, and we're going to go in more on this code of conduct because I think it needs to be amplified.
Treaty, that's right. We need a treaty discussion. A treaty. As we going to deep, like scripture. We've got to treat that treaty, the King's Peace Treaty, it's got to be gone through like it's like the Quran or like it's a Bible. It's not a light thing. It's a serious thing. It's a treaty.
I'll let you go. I know your battery's about to die. So we
say no more, but my brothers, all I got to say to you is love and everything and that. And remember, bruv, as black brothers, man, we need to stop killing each other with our minds, our thoughts, and our deeds.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Once we do that, that's one agreement. If we agree to do that as a people throughout the whole world, bruv, all my days is over.
It's over. Look, my man, what's his name? J. Edgar Hoover. He said the thing that he fears the most is black unity.
Black Messiah. Black Messiah. That's right.
Right.
No, well, he said black unity. Like the Black Messiah was something that he always intended to crush any black Messiah, but the black unity was what he feared most.
Right.
Because the black Messiah is a black unity.
That's right.
That is the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Because once we say that we're never going to kill each other again, it is over.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're going to die. We're going to either die from natural causes or by someone else killing us.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be so woke that you can't trouble us.
Yeah.
If you touch one, you're going to touch every single one of us.
Yeah. And that violation right there, we're not having a bar of it.
We're not having it.
Yeah.
But we can be violated now because Tom Jones down the road could stab you in your neck.
Yeah.
Or could shoot you. So
Yeah.
you don't even respect yourself.
Yeah.
So no nation on the planet the earth is gonna ever respect you, ever.
Yeah.
It's a weak link.
Yeah.
The fact that black people don't run to kill black people is a real weak link.
Yeah. AWFTV, the King's Peace Treaty is the new standard. Yeah,
that's
big up.
That's Brother Minister. That's Brother Minister in the place. Big up to Brother Minister.
Yeah. Big.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the phone call and the love is concrete. So, Richie, is it IC3? I know who you are. And I know you could be already, brother.
Yeah,
my brother.
Yeah, man.
Is there anybody else there?
No, no one else is there.
All right, man.
Yeah. Hey, big up, cuz.
Can you beeping in the background?
No, I can't. No. Yeah.
All right, I'm gone.
All right. Respect, brother. Later.
All right, take care.
All right, listen, we just hit the 2 hour mark here, so I'm gonna wrap it up. This gonna be a regular set, people. Everyone who's joined us today, hit that like button. Big up to you. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I want people to get used to coming on. I'm putting the link in the chat, so again, anyone can come on, voice their opinion. I will have some stable people. I'm gonna try and entice my brother Chris to come back and join me more often, because I know he's got things to say on enough subjects. He's a family member. He's a family. He has his own family, should I say, as well. So again, he's a business owner. So there's multiple things he can talk about. He's got his own platform. Yeah, tell the people, bruv, where to find you as well, Chris, and any final statements you want to say.
Yes, you can find me on Insta, London's underscore authors underscore United. So there's London's authors United. Facebook, Chris Sevilla. Yeah, I'm writing the books. I'm gonna keep on writing the books. It's our story from our mouth is the key. We have to tell our story from our mouth. Too long, other people have been misrepresenting us, and it's stopping right now. You understand?
Okay.
Gangs Unite, big up Gangs Unite, another business partner. Access UK, another business partner, big up. 100 Black Men, Father to Father. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Big up, big up, big up. Thank you, Richie, Black Eyes TV, for having me. And I'll be back whenever I'm invited.
Okay.
That's all. Well, as I said, regular segment every Tuesday, so feel free, look in. I'll let you know the subject matter that we're going to kind of touch on. But as you see, it can go anywhere. That's what I want. I just like interaction from the people. But I do want to definitely cover certain subjects.
My show, the SIP show that I have is on a Tuesday as well. It's 8 till 10. So I was actually supposed to do my show this weekend, but I had to put it off. But next weekend, I will be back on my show, which is 8 till 10. So it might be a little bit tight. I might jump on a little bit after, because when I'm traveling from South, it might take me a little while to get back, you know. So that's something to this.
Smooth.
But yeah. Thank you for having me, brother.
Definitely, bro. Big up to you every time for that.
Thank you.
Look out for
good night, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, take care of yourself, IC, bro.
Yeah,
join us again.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on
I know you
TV7.
That's all. I know you support the show, so big up to you. Yeah.
Okay. Take care,
people.
Good night.
Join us again next week, Tuesday, same time, 10 o'clock. We'll be discussing whatever. We'll see. I'll try and bring some people on that are relevant to whatever subject as well to kick it off, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah. Peace to the family. Big up to you, Chris. Yeah. Big up to you, brother Minister, Spice, all the people, Scattered Minds. I want to see you on next time. Yeah, there's a few people. M.A. Brown, Raw, yeah, Bugs, yeah. Big up to Gang. Big up to Manhood Academy, and big up to you, Mr. Riggs. Next time, hopefully you can join us. All right, brother. Peace in the wilderness. Peace, people. Peace.